chapter 7. My plans for chapter 7 is pretty much the last chapter we're going to do. Is I will teach it today, and then on Thursday we will go over what the homework would have been. So make sure you have good to go with that. I think there's a quiz and a test left, and that's about it. Sound about good? And then tomorrow is kind of a goofy day, right? We only have class starting out like noon. I don't know where the schedule is. Yeah, got it. Cool. It's on the website. Perfect. Hey, Bob. All right. Will you get to page 47, please? Get to page 47. And from here on out, you'll be able to use your... You'll be able to... Friends, hello. Senior citizens, you can't hear me. What? What you got, Sonny? All right. So from here on out, you'll be able to use all of your notes on the last quiz and last test that we have for this class. So page 47, that's where we're at, chapter 7. The intro to the chi-square goodness of fit test. Chi-squared. Some of you might say it's chi-squared. Chi-squared, what? All right. What?
When we come in tomorrow,
tomorrow, if you needed more time, because it's only 20 minutes periods, I'll give that time.
Okay.
And then, starting on Thursday, you can earn half points back. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Or even if you come in tomorrow during an off period, if it's sure. We're good.
As long as I come in after our classes.
Yep, and I like the AC/DC shirt, buddy. Yeah, buddy. All right. So there are many hypothesis tests that cover a wide variety of data collection scenarios. Next, we'll learn the chi-squared test. No applause, just throw money. Okay, the chi-squared test studies an entire distribution of data across categories to see if there's statistical evidence of a difference or a change in how the data is distributed. Okay? So I think this is a pretty good example. It talks about you get a free baseball card in this is a made-up cereal, Frosted Sugar Bomb cereal. Okay? There are 5 total to collect, and we'll call them A, B, C, D, and E. Okay? So they're a collector's baseball card that you can get. You wish to collect the whole set, but you wonder, are the 5 cards equally likely to occur, or are there some cards that are more rare than others? So, and this is kind of a big buy. So you plan to buy 40 boxes of this cereal. Okay? And you want to collect each one of these cards, and you're curious if it's an equal distribution of these particular playing cards. And I realize A, B, C, D, E is not really a baseball card, but let's just pretend it is. So you have these 40 boxes of cereal somewhere collected in your home, and you decide you're going to go into each of them, and you happen to go in to get all the special cards. There's 11 that are the A, 7 that are the B, 6 that are the C, 9 that are the D, and 7 that are the E card. Okay, so if we were to add the 11, 7, 6, 9, and 7 together, we should come up with 40. Okay, now by looking at that, it appears that the A seems to be happening more likely, but that might have been purely coincidental that you grabbed more boxes that have the A in it that didn't. Okay, so our hypothesis, 5 cards are equal. And our alternative, 5 cards are not equal to get. So again, we're on page 47. Okay? And again, friends, you can use your notes from here on out on the rest of the tests and quizzes. There's one quiz, one test. Okay? So, do we understand the event? Some weird person decided, oh, I'm a big baseball card collector. I want to collect all 5 of these baseball cards. They go and buy 40 boxes of cereal, whether they were all randomly bought or they went to 40 different stores and bought one box at each store. It doesn't really tell us that. But needless to say, they have an awful lot of the Frosted Sugar Bombs cereal that hopefully they'll eat. Okay. All right. So here's our null and here's our alternative. Pretty simple, straightforward. And then what we're going to do is we have card A, B, C, and D, and E. And what we observed, because we got these 40 boxes of cereal, there was 11 of them that were A, there was 7 of them that were B, there was 6 of them that were C, there was 9 of them that were D, and there are 7 that are E. Okay? And then, in order to satisfy our hypothesis, we expect that we would have had 8 of each that we would have collected in our 40 boxes of cereal. Okay? So, the next couple of assignments is going to evaluate if these distributions are true, and if we find strong evidence that the cards are not equally rare. So again, we're on page 47 if you want to follow along. So again, we are excited about, we have five really good baseball cards that are in these boxes of cereals. We are baseball collecting people, regardless, I know we're not. We buy 40 boxes. We grab the card out of each of those 40 boxes that says they have a free card inside. We got the 11, 7, 6, 9, and 7 of cards A through E. We would expect there to be 8 of each if this was truly a perfect thing. So we want to know, was it skewed in a way that we didn't get the right amount, or did we get the right amount? So basically, that's as far as we kind of go with that example. I know that we will re-explore this type of concept probably on Friday's lesson. Okay? All right. So just before I go into the next example, tomorrow, which are our shorter periods and they're kind of goofy, I'm not sure how attendance will be, but my plan is if you needed to finish up any tests or quizzes that you owed me, I would give you the opportunity to do that tomorrow during class. After tomorrow's class, you have the opportunity to come in during one of your off periods and earn half your points back, which I thought the test Friday went well. I didn't think Monday was too much different, but Monday had kind of a big difference on how people did. So half the points back should help your grade back up. Okay? All right. So on page 48, they say, so the distribution of blood types across the world is well known, and it is as follows. So we have blood types. So there's type O, there's type A, there's type B, and there's type AB. Yes, there are other types, but these are the ones that we're kind of categorizing. And the percent of each people that have these types of blood is 45%, 40%, 11%, and 4%. Okay, so this is kind of a worldwide. They know they've have this data. This is what they've collected. We wonder if the breakdown of blood types in Colorado matches kind of what the world is doing. Okay, so. And these are all percents. This is what they know worldwide. But then we're going to say, okay, we're going to sample people in Colorado, and we're going to find out that 95 people have this type, and our sample is 200 people. And it was random, which is good. So you have 95, 77, 23, and 5. Okay? So what our null is. So the blood type distribution in Colorado is the same as the world. And then our alternative is blood type distribution in Colorado is different. Than the world. Okay? And who knows? I mean, we might be showing something different. So as we go through this, we have to remember they gave us percents here. So these are all percents. So we want to see what our sample percents would be. So this is going to be 95 out of 200, which is, oh, actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go 0.45. I'm going to multiply these together, and that's going to give me a certain number. I got a calculator to take care of that. So we go 45 times 200. So we're taking each of these percents times the 200. So that showed that, in Colorado, our sample at 95, but we should have 90 of the people. Okay, and if I go 40% times the 0.77, that shows us that we have 30.8 take place. Oops. Together, 80. Shoot, hang on. I goofed up. This doesn't take place. I'm sorry. All right. So there we go. And then if I were to go 40% times 200, that's going to give us 80. If we do 11% times 200 sample, that's going to give us Am I missing anybody? Good to go. Cancel. And then 11% times 200 gives us 22. And then we're going to go 4% times 200, and that's going to give us 8. Okay? So it being that we knew that the percents of certain blood types, we were expecting that we should have gotten 90, 80, 22, and 8. And then basically we're not quite doing the tests on this yet for the chi-squared test, but we're like just looking at our data and saying, hey, our sample yielded us 95 people with type A. If we matched up with the world, it should have been only 90 people. Being our sample of Colorado had 77 with type A blood or whatever the type of blood that was. We expected 80 people. 77 versus 80, we're pretty close. 11% with type B blood. So we did 11% times 200. You came up with 22. And then we then did 4% times 200. Came up with 8. So do our samples. We did our random sample here. Are these numbers so far off? This was what we expected. Are these numbers that far off? And visually, they might not be. Okay? It's just a matter of kind of taking a look at the data. Do we feel comfortable with the data? Is there enough here that we should investigate the data? Those are all questions that we're going to answer. So our observed counts are somewhat different than our expected counts. Is there evidence in this data that the blood type distribution is different? And then in future assignments, we're going to actually evaluate this to say, hey, Colorado does have a different distribution of blood types than the rest of the world that we know as far as the percents go. So we're testing our null, our alternative, and then do we find evidence to fail to reject or to reject our null? Okay, so that's basically what we're going to head towards in our future. Okay, so what I would like us to do, so this, I will do this on Thursday, and if you wanted to take a look at it, if you're here, you're going to get the points for it. If you're not, you better watch the video and show me. But I'd like you to take a good look at page 125 and 126 for Thursday. Because again, on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, if you needed to finish any tests or quizzes, and starting tomorrow during one of your off periods, you can start earning half your points back on this last test. Cool. The tests are indeed in the grade book. It wasn't as, part 2 was not as good as I thought it'd be. I thought part 1 was pretty good. Part 2 wasn't quite as good. There's so many variables that are in place. I have a hard time identifying which was the thing. Maybe it was because it was a Monday. Maybe because it was Monday after prom. Who knows? But half your points back will certainly scoop your grades back up to a nice thing. So that's what I got for you for today. So you have the opportunity to work on 125, 126.